and give you a countdown. Hey, everybody! What's
What's
going
going on, folks?
on? Welcome to the Mike is Hot Live podcast show. We live on YouTube, y'all. Hi,
So
Ken.
excited. I'm
I
so happy to be here,
know.
Christina. I'm so happy.
I
This is
know. Like, yo, we literally worked our asses off
yo,
to
yo.
get to
And look
this
how
point.
smooth YouTube is.
Okay.
Catching all of the frames.
Real
What?
clean. Real clean. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Real pure. Instagram a little fuzzy with the picture.
Right. That's what you look like. That's what you look like.
Gotta put filters on and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, welcome everybody to the Mike is Hot Live podcast show. We only going for an hour tonight. This is our first live. My
Oh yeah.
boo Kenyatta hurt his back.
I did. I have been all up and through the hospital.
Oh, I hate going to the hospital. They had you in there forever, didn't
Yeah.
they? Well,
Yes.
I'm glad you got some medicine. What
Yes.
happened? Tell us really quick. Like, is it your back?
Well, see, y'all already know at the Mike is Hot Live. I work a lot.
Yeah,
I
you
work a
do.
lot. I
You
work
do.
two jobs. I go in at 7:30 and sometimes don't leave until 11 p.m. And
Oh, shit.
so, yeah. And so I'm sitting down for a lot of that time. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
because I'm hosting, I'm not necessarily always serving. I'm not on
Okay.
my feet all the time. And so by me sitting all the time, my I was starting to develop like a little bit of a tightness in my back and it was messing with my sciatica. And
Oh, crap.
so yeah. So one particular morning I was reaching down to pick up a towel and out, could not get up. I was on the floor for a good 20 minutes
I
trying to
know you
figure
were.
out
I
like,
would have been freaking out. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah, for real. It was scary. It was tough. It was just painful. Just
So
painful.
quickly, I've heard that if you sit down for long, because I sit down at my job, I'm a receptionist.
Uh
So if you sit down for long periods of time, it's not good for your body either.
that and don't sleep on your front. I sleep on my front
What you mean?
down.
Oh, you sleep like this.
Yes. Yes.
Really?
So my lower back is becoming hyperextended because I'm lifting up all the time
Oh.
as opposed to laying flat on my back, you know? And
Oh,
it's
that's
been messing with
interesting.
my back a lot. So like,
That's interesting. Hi,
hey,
Tina!
Tina! What's going on,
Hey,
love?
girl!
Welcome in. Welcome
Come on
in.
in, CT. I knew you was gonna be on here, girl. I love her. That's one of our fans, one of our day ones.
Day
That's been there
one.
since the beginning. Shout out to you, C Tina.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. And she keeps us on point with the facts. We
She
don't
do.
have all
She
of the facts. She will most definitely go in and do the work and make sure that we have the facts within the next couple of minutes. So go, girl.
she said I had to go grab snacks.
That's
Yes,
what's
and I look,
up.
see Tina, I know you're gonna have information on this topic tonight. We only doing one topic tonight, just because Ken, he's not feeling all the way well, and I don't want to put no more stress on his
Yeah, I'm
back.
already sitting to one side.
That's that. My back hurting now. Come on with it now. All right, let me dive into it because we might end up ending early too, just for your sake too.
Mhm.
Okay, so tonight, you guys, the topic though, we're only doing one topic tonight. Or trying to figure out the flow of how YouTube's gonna go. We might not do full 2 hour lives on YouTube. We might just do those on Instagram and just do hour and a half lives on YouTube and just come with like either two major topics to talk about. So that way we can have once we start getting a good flow of people, we can have people engage in the chat and come on camera and stuff like that.
Love
All
it.
right. So tonight we are talking about pedophilia in America. starting out with the late Jeffrey Epstein, who did commit suicide once he was indicted on pedophilia and sexual assault charges. I believe he committed suicide in 2019 before he even went to trial. So to me,
The guilt. The guilt.
the guilt, nigga, killed your
Yo.
ass.
Well, okay, on a lot of things, right? So like you only been in there a couple of days and they done heard about you. So
Right.
they done heard about you and they ain't making it easy for your ass.
That's what it
Right?
was.
That's
Right.
what it was. I think the guilt, like, first of all, ain't nothing that he like in there. No.
Facts. First and foremost, not your
Nothing.
type.
Cut off from everything. Everything. You know what I mean? And you have to sit and deal with like all of your thoughts. Like I can't even go to sleep without a TV or a radio on or something just because I get into my mind, I get into my head.
Yeah,
Can
me
you
too.
imagine just sitting there and just like thinking about everything and you start to feel guilty? I'm sure your conscience starts to play on
Starts
you
to haunt
and
you. Yeah, see, Tina, you said he was killed. Okay, see, that's the thing. I
oh,
heard that he was
mm,
killed, but the main story has been that he committed suicide. But you
yeah,
know what? Now that you mentioned that, Kenyatta, he might have been.
he might have been.
Because you know, pedophiles don't last long in prison.
No, they don't. They
So,
don't. And not a whole lot of people. Oh, okay, so like Jeffrey Epstein probably didn't have a whole lot of friends on the other side. You know what I mean?
right,
And then on top of that, like he probably made a lot of enemies. Made a
right,
lot of enemies. Like
right.
it says on Wikipedia, like he died in his jail cell on August 10th, 2019, and the medical examiner ruled that his death was a suicide by hanging. Now he just ruled, you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
he
that's
just
so
ruled
when they
that
say
that's
they ruled it, what is that? What does that term technically mean?
so ruled it. I feel like that's just like written in book, written, like that's
What
what
we
we're
want
gonna
is
write it
what we
down
want.
as.
That's what we gonna say.
Now, I'm
Ah,
not saying that. Okay, so like, I don't want to. I don't want to call the medical examiner out there. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to call you a liar.
you're a liar.
I'm not calling you a liar. Um, but it just sounds a little sketch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just sounds sketch.
Thank
Happy. Oh,
you.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Shout out to Go Talk Live. What's up, y'all? Thank you for popping in. Thank you. Yes, this is our 50th episode. We made it. We made it.
Yes,
We made it.
we here.
We here. We ain't
We here.
going
We all.
nowhere.
We home
Thank
now.
you. Thank y'all for popping in, yo. That's love, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. But go ahead, Kenyatta. What were you saying?
No, I was saying like I. I feel as though it I mean, it sounds sketchy, right?
Right.
Like it sounds a little sketchy, and we could see it happening both ways. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
he didn't
Right.
have, like he could have been very guilt ridden or
Somebody could
very
have got that
unliked.
ass. Right. This is my thing with this whole conversation. For some of y'all who don't know, I'm just give you a little quick background on Jeffrey Epstein. He was a wealthy financier. He was previously convicted as a sex offender and was arrested on July 6th on sex trafficking and conspiracy charges over allegations that he paid girls as young as 14 for sex and used them to recruit other young girls between 2002 and 2005. A criminal indictment unsealed July 8th in Manhattan federal court claims Epstein sexually exploited dozens of minor girls starting in 2002. Epstein is said to have abused girls in his homes in both New York, Palm Beach, Florida, and both locations. Epstein recruited victims to give him massages that quickly turned sexual. Prosecutors said Epstein paid his victims hundreds of dollars in cash, according to the indictment. He was 66 years old, and he allegedly sought out minors and was aware that many of his victims were under 18 because, in some instances, minor victims expressly told him their age, which is what prosecutors wrote. There was also a female that was in cahoots with this coercion. I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, but I think it's Giselle. Is it Giselle Maxine? um she was one of the main recruiters to bring on these girls to give him massages, and apparently the situation went down really quickly. And what's interesting to me is, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to social media like the past few weeks. Remember, Kenyatta, when I was sending you all those female teachers
Yo,
that were getting exploited for sexual assault on minors in school, and they were teachers, you guys? I
yeah,
don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but pay attention to that. I post a lot of information on our story on our podcast platform, but it was like 4 or 5 teachers that literally came out in 1 week.
it was
All
in a
between the
matter of
ages of,
weeks.
yes, all between the, yes, just Lane Maxwell. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you,
Um,
Christina.
um, from the ages of 25 to 35. One of them actually got impregnated by a 14-year-old boy. It's just ridiculous. And I said that to say Jeffrey Epstein started out as a math teacher as well in New York City. And it's just sad because with everything that's going on with the school shootings and the fact that we ultimately trust technically strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers are technically strangers if you
They
think
are.
about it.
They
With
are.
your children,
Yeah.
and this type of stuff seems to be going on. And another thing that's questionable to me is, where the hell are the parents at?
Working. Working. I not only working, but it's more so it makes you wonder if they begin to value work over their children or the well-being
Right,
of their children. Just because it's more so about you get into the habit, right?
right,
Routine. You get into the
right.
habit of going to work every day and you know that this is what you need to do. And you know that you need to do this in order to be able to provide for your
For your
family.
family, right,
And so you ship your kids off to learn from this person
right,
who is a little bit more, you would think, is a little bit more equipped
right,
to educate your child on things that need to be educated. Like if I could sit here and work and educate my child,
right.
um,
You would do it,
you would do it, right?
right,
You know what
right,
I mean? If I can make money at teaching my own child,
right. Then who wouldn't do that?
who
And the
wouldn't
thing,
do that?
and the thing that's crazy to me too is a lot of there was something that came out, I think last year. We briefly mentioned this on our show on Instagram. Excuse me. There was a list that came out of politicians. I don't know if you guys remember when that whole child trafficking ring got exploited with Disney, and there was a whole bunch of workers. There was a whole. Oh, I just want to read this. The problem is that most of the people that were in the sex ring were prominent people, most blindly trusting that over common sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I agree.
yeah, it was interesting because it was like a list of these politicians that also came out that were involved in this trafficking ring. And what plagues me is, how is this just getting overlooked when we're supposed to be protecting our children?
Well, these people are in the position to be able to hide it. Um, they are in positions of power. You know what
Money
I
and
mean? Money,
power.
like how
Yeah,
Christina said, money and power. You can be able to do so much through the influence of just money and power. uh,
that's
there are
sad, dude.
there are a lot of people out there who are willing to do what it takes, even if that means providing for their own children, which blows my
Right,
mind. You know what I
right,
mean? So like you don't care about this next person's child, but you are working to be able to care for your own child. It's like
right. It's
it's
just it's really corrupted. And then another thing that was interesting to me too is like, Okay, we know when R. Kelly, his whole scandal came out with
Yeah,
him and with sleeping with the kids and stuff like that. And that's another thing. It's
as
just
young as
making
14.
as 14, and it's making me think that this has become almost like I hate to say this, but like a normalcy.
Well,
And
it's I
no one's really doing any firm
I feel like it's
uh
never really stopped, Christina. I feel like now it's a little bit more out in the open.
right, right.
I feel like now it's being a little bit more exposed. I feel like
Like school shootings. Exactly,
even
Christina.
even since the times of what do you call it? I don't know. Egyptian times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were going pretty young, you know.
You're right,
It,
because even before like underage marriage became illegal.
you could be a king or queen at like what, 12, 13,
12 or
10,
something like that. 11, 10 or something like that.
young,
Yeah.
right?
You could get
So,
married as soon as, like, I think a girl was able to have a period or something like that, or had her
yeah.
period and she could conceive. They would marry them girls off very young.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you see it even in The Color Purple. Like
Oh,
how old was Celie when she was married off?
that's
How many
right.
children had she had by that point?
That's right. Oh my God. I never even thought about how they mentioned that in that movie.
She was 14.
Oh my God, dude. It's so disturbing. Like,
It's disturbing. I mean, we're I feel like we look at it and we
right,
see it in the films and you go, wow, that's crazy,
right,
right?
right,
Because it's on the film,
right,
right? But now we're starting to hear that it's happening everywhere
right.
and all the time. And in these particular cases, we're hearing about it because of the high profile case that it is, or like how a
Yeah.
high profile person subject, right?
Right, right,
We only hear about it because R. Kelly has been prominent and we didn't know that about R. Kelly. We only
right,
hear about it because Jeffrey Epstein has been prominent. You know what I
right,
mean? Like he knows everybody. And so now because he knows everybody, then everybody who knows that person talks about that person.
right.
You
And you
know
know
what I
what's
mean?
crazy? Like, this man had stupid dumb money, and he went from being a teacher to owning his own financing company and making millions of dollars, to the point where he bought two islands off of the Virgin Islands. And
Yeah.
the people in the Virgin Islands kind of had awareness of it, and they used to call they called the island, one of the islands, they called it the Island of Sin, and then the other one they actually called it Pedophile Island.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's like, how dastardly and nasty could you be, where you going as far as to buy in some property where you can
Buying
go
an
and do your
island.
dirty work?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and then the part that tripped me out was, they mentioned Prince Andrew, part of the royal family, one of Queen Elizabeth's second oldest son.
Uh-huh.
They mentioned Donald Trump, Bill Clinton having interactions with this man when when all this stuff was kind of
Mm-hmm.
going on, when they would be going to the island and stuff. And then there's also a clientele list of celebrities and politicians that have visited that island. And people are trying to basically expose this list, because they're saying that if these people went on this island and knew the activities were going on, why aren't they being reprimanded as well?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my thing is, I'm trying to figure out, what is the obsession with sex and little kids?
It's we talked about it, right? It's that word impressionable,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
like you can't do to a fully grown adult what you can do to a kid. That sounds horrible,
horrible. Yeah, but it's the
right?
truth.
But it's the truth because you're preying off of the innocence of this person who knows nothing.
Right. That's so fucked up, dude.
This grown ass person knows when they're
Knows.
being slighted,
Right.
knows when they're being fucked with,
Right.
and because you can't get an edgewise in with them, you'd rather go for younger because the appeal is that they know nothing and
That's
that you can show
awful.
them the world with your money, that you can hold on to them and take them to the most fabulous places, to an island of sorts, to
I never
mini
even thought about
vacations,
that.
all of those
Luring.
things. I own
Luring.
this. This is me.
Right.
This is mine.
Right.
Play as you will, right?
Right.
And so then you take advantage of, eh, think about it in this way. You know how, like, you've seen a favorite movie and you're dating someone, right? They've
Yeah.
never seen that movie.
Yeah.
And you can't wait to show it to them because you want to be able to see that movie through their eyes for the first time all over again, right?
Right.
That's innocence. That's naivety. That is wanting to be able to live through someone who has not lived as much as you have.
That's so crazy, dude.
It's
Like
it's
that is just
it's crazy. It's crazy to even think about, but I feel as though these people who have money go out of their way to build these utopias so they can
right.
get away with so much, so much.
And
It
that
makes
just
you wonder, did, like, what was their ambition always that?
there you go. I was just
You
about to
gonna say
say
that?
that. I was just about to say that.
It's crazy because, like, you feel as though celebrities can get away with everything, so I might as well try and be a celebrity so I can get away with everything
Right.
too.
Right. Because that's what makes me think you're a criminal already in your mind. And now
Already.
you trying to hide it. It's like, I don't know. That's just weird because it's not like he was some famous person. He was
No,
just super
but he can,
rich.
but him being able to shake hands with whoever and be able to invite these celebrities to his island, like all of these things, I that helps you get away
Way with
with
it.
what you're trying to get away with. You know what I mean? Like, it's
And it's
it
like you said, it makes you wonder if he always, what if he did that shit before he even got all that money?
was this the goal?
Right.
Was this the goal?
Yo,
It,
that's like some kingpin drug lord, but on the pedophile side.
yeah, yeah.
And then another thing that was interesting to me, okay, I pulled this article up. Hold on. I thought this was really interesting. Let me find it real quick. JP Morgan, which is I think it's a financial institution.
Uh huh.
They were suing their former executive over ties to the Epstein sex abuse because apparently they were like
A bank.
aiding him in funds. It's a bank. There you go.
Hmm.
It says that JP Morgan Chase has sued its former executive Jess Staley, alleging that he aided in hiding. He aided in hiding it. Like, like what are we doing here? Like
That's the
aided in
thing.
hiding
So, like,
Jeffrey
you think about it.
Epstein's years long. So you mean to tell me y'all knew that this was going on
Oh yeah.
and you
But
funded it?
but rather than lose the account,
Oh, wait a minute, wait. So he had accounts with them.
maybe,
That would make more sense, Kenyatta.
maybe, you know what I mean? Like, you think that they would. There, a lot of bankers are willing to do what it takes to make sure that their money is filled with your money, right?
That's so
Or their
crazy,
bank is
dude. How
filled with your money, right? And so, like,
right.
they, it's underhanded because it's like, who can you trust? Like, you can't even.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was reading all this stuff. I was just like, yo, my kids are never fucking going anywhere. I'm sorry. Y'all ain't going nowhere.
Yo.
And you better tell me if the teacher do anything funny. Cause bro, I just can't wrap my mind around it when we focus on when the children are supposed to be the next generation.
Uh-huh.
And we're not protecting the next generation. It doesn't make
But
sense to me.
and that word has been thrown around so much, right? That phrase,
Yeah.
protect our children,
Children. Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes, it is.
So much,
So
too
much.
much,
Right.
too much to a fact of, are you really thinking about the children?
Or is this just something to make it look like y'all always want to look good? You know, oh, we're
Why
all about the children.
why do we have so many cases of pedophilia? Why do we have so many school shootings?
Right.
Why are they being preyed on in the
In the
schools?
school
I don't understand. How do you know that this is an issue
and
and
not
you're
do shit
focusing
about
on
it.
other things that are not the issue?
Right.
And then, like, you're fully aware. You're aware that these school shootings are happening. What are you doing to change that? You're
Nothing.
aware that these children are being preyed on in grocery stores, amusement parks, schools.
School.
School is what blows your
That's what
mind.
blows me.
Because, and that's the institution of school, is what is trusting these parents, or making these parents trust in the educational system. Right.
I said that, Christina. I said it
Yeah.
was a math teacher. I mentioned that. Yeah, that's why I was just about to say and when you become a teacher, aren't y'all supposed to be doing background checks? That's what makes me think people are touching kids and getting away with it. Because how in the hell are these teachers getting away with molesting and having sex with these kids?
Because people don't want to believe that it's, I'm not putting it on all teachers, because I
Not
almost
on
said
all
it
teachers, yeah,
generally,
not on
right?
all of y'all. We're
I
not saying
almost
all
said
the
it generally,
teachers.
but people are, they would never think the teacher.
Right.
You would never think that.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You would not believe it,
Right. It's a
because
far-fetched thought. You just automatically feel like the school is the second safest place for your children to be.
right. And then there are some parents out there who would then have to take care of their child.
Right. From another perspective.
From another perspective.
That's a good point, Kenyatta, because there are a lot. She said, hold on, he didn't even have a degree for anything he did. Wow. But like you
You can
said,
get
Kenyatta,
you can
a
get a
lot,
lot you can
huh?
get a far way in this world off of just your charm. Just your charm.
That's spooky, dude. Like,
It's very spooky.
and then the part that really got me though was the woman, Giselle Maxine.
Yeah.
Because as a woman, and then lately the women that the teachers that came out were all women.
Oh.
My mom was telling me that has been happening. It's just never been shed light on it when it comes to women because people always expect it to be the men to be the perverts.
Mm.
So
That, yeah.
I thought that was really interesting because you don't expect it to be women. Like now you got to be, and then another thing too, I feel like they downplay it. Like, oh, they're boys. You know, boys are into sex at an early age. Oh, I had a crush on my teacher when I was a young boy, and da 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 da. And it's like that doesn't make it okay just because you're a male. It's
Yes.
still predatory behavior, and it's still rape.
And even if your boys are bigging you up, right? Like, even if your boys are saying like,
Hey,
yeah, that's a score, right? Hey, Shadi, what's going on, man?
Shadi!
But I think that's us placing gender roles,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Talk
what I
to
mean,
him, Ken.
on humans that are capable of doing whatever,
Exactly.
right? Anything. It doesn't
Anything.
matter
The
the gender,
gender.
right?
Yeah.
Once you start expecting is when you're being made a fool of.
Right.
It's it should be the same rules for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's 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 also, there are some parents out there who don't check in with the educators
At all.
at all. They
Or
drop
their
them off,
kid. Or their kid. They don't even
or
ask
their kid.
questions.
Yes. Moving about, just do as I say,
Right. Right.
not as I do, and I'm going to work. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like, don't mess any of that up. Don't mess up the routine, because the
Right.
routine is getting us this far, and I'm putting food on your
And
table. I'm
table.
getting you clothes. I'm sending you
Right.
back out there. But yeah, you fucked up in the head because
All this other stuff is going on that you don't even know about.
Miss Jackson keeps touching you.
That's why I agree with you when you said that one time too, Kenyatta, that it is important to be able for your children to feel comfortable to have an open line of communication with you,
Yes, yes. You have to talk to them about
even
everything.
if it's uncomfortable.
Get them talking. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just so that they feel comfortable to be able to bring anything to you, because there are going to be moments that are dire and they want to feel like, who can I run to
Right.
with this information? Who's going to understand me? All we have
Right.
ever wanted in this life is to be understood.
Understood. Hell yes, that's a fact. And do
From the
you think
moment we
that's why
started
a lot of
talking,
right? And do you think that's why a lot of kids, um, if something like that is happening to them, I wonder why. Okay, let me ask it. Why do you think a lot of kids don't say anything? Because I feel like,
shame, fear,
but you
shame,
from their
fear.
parents though.
Yes, for the feeling of how you're going to react. It's the
Yeah.
same
Okay.
reason. It's the same reason why uh, young LGBTQ are afraid to come out
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
be who
That
they
makes
are. You know
sense.
what I mean? It is fear of how they're going to take that information, what they're going to do with it.
Right.
It's, is my mom the type of person to be able to handle this the right way?
You know what's funny? Because my son has done that to me before. Like, he'll say, "Mom, I got to tell you something, but I don't want you to like get mad, or I don't want you to react a certain type of way." Or he'll say, "I don't want you to get upset." He'll say, "I don't want you to get upset," and I'll just be like, "What is it?"
And let me stop you there. That's your opportunity to build that trust,
Right.
because he's expecting for you to go off the handle,
Right.
right?
Right.
But if you come at him from a different angle, you have to respect how he's coming at you with it,
Right.
and then be able to speak openly, because
He's
that
full of
sounds that sounds like a genuine toiling. Like, it's taken a lot of courage, and he's been
for me
thinking
to.
about this, whatever this is,
Yeah.
for a good while. And now he's built up the courage to be able to say it. That's
Right.
your opportunity to be able to bridge that gap and create a little bit more of a stronger bond, so he can be able to come to you. Um, like, he will think back to that moment and say,
Right.
Mom didn't fly off the handle then. Maybe I can tell her about this. You know what I mean? It just
Absolutely.
opens up the doors. He just wants to be related to.
Right.
Children just want to be related to and understood. And just because that thought is going on in their mind, um, they want to be able to speak truth to it. And
And
who
you know,
better?
whenever he does do that, I always say, you can talk to me, tell me whatever it is. And I always say to him, no matter what you think or how you think I might react, it's better for you to have that. It's better for you to be able to come and talk to me,
Mm.
because I want to be able to guide you the right way. I don't want you to go to somebody else who might not, who's not going to, first of all, love you the way that I do.
Hmm.
And is not going to look out for your best interest because I love you. And I think he was telling me something about a little girl at his school and trying to hug him or do something. And I was like, okay, well, tell them little girls that tell them little girls that you only allowed to have friends and you can do side hugs. That's fine. I said, no kissing, none of that, no inappropriate stuff. He goes, I know. And he always says, I only kiss my mother. And I said, yeah, I hear you saying that now. But, but, and
but
I
that
do, because there is going to come a time where they're going to have that, they're going to have them feelings and things are going to change. And I don't want them to not feel comfortable to come and talk to me, because I don't want them to make a mistake because they didn't know or they were scared to come and ask me or talk to me or something like that. You know
so
what I
so
mean?
like even in saying that, like no girls, no kissing, like stuff like that, it has to be a little bit more open ended because if you close it,
Mm-hmm.
then he'll always think about that in terms of girls, and I can't go to my mom when I talk about girls. So
Oh, okay.
so when you say certain things like maybe when you get older,
Oh yeah, I will follow up with that. I'll be like, you'll have plenty of time for that. We'll have
plenty
that
of time for
conversation
that.
when you get a little older about
Yeah.
girls and the different changes you're gonna. I do that. I
Okay.
do follow up with that.
Yeah, because when it leads them to believe that yes, sometime later, right,
Right, right,
right,
right, right.
or when they're watching television and they see those type of things on television, then they'll be able to put it together that those people that they're watching are older. You
Ah,
know what I mean? So then it makes,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like once I get to 13, maybe not
Right.
13, or you know what I mean? Like it lets them look forward to
Forward
that
to it.
as
Right.
opposed to thinking that mom doesn't want me to ever
Ever
date. Mom
experience
doesn't want me
this.
to
Right.
ever, you know what I mean? Like, and then if I start to feel those feelings, then how about Christina said, how about don't do anything till you are ready to deal with the feelings that come with it? I missed that last bit. Oh,
Oh yeah, that's right. I
some
think that's,
adults, some adults still need that. Yes.
yeah, that's very true.
Yes, yes, yes. Like saying that, make it normal and explain just at their level. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly.
That's really good advice, you guys. And I just wanted to read some of the comments that she made in the chat. Hold on, I gotta print because it disappears.
Oh,
Um,
I see some too.
I liked how she said that uh Jeffrey Epstein didn't even have a degree for anything he did. He was also in finance and no degree. Morons trusted him with money. Oh, well, that makes sense why they hid what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
That's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, because he had friends in high places to be able to hide what they needed to get done as well. It made I feel like everybody has like this little vice,
Right,
right? That
right.
you want
To
no
play
one to
in.
know about,
Right,
right?
right,
I'll keep your secret if you keep my secret.
right.
You know what I mean? And let's help each other out with whatever fucked up
Shit
bullshit
we
that
gonna
you
do.
have to deal
Right.
with. You know what I mean? Like it's
And
like
it
can you
makes me, it
like
really
your
makes me,
job is to keep the parents at bay.
right. Like,
Like
and
stupid.
it really makes me think too, like how twisted of a world we live in where people would even, like, the fact that you would just be like, fuck them kids,
Right.
basically.
No one works alone unless it's what? A murder?
Right, exactly. And you
You know what I
and
mean?
then the crazy thing is, this Jeffrey Epstein thing is almost very similar with R. Kelly. They even said that Jeffrey Epstein paid some of his employees.
Oh, oh yeah.
So that
And
to
not to implicate that they all knew.
So
Not.
then what would he be paying them for?
I'm not saying, but okay, so there might be somebody who's also in the next in command and might know all that information, but have all these little minions beneath them who are being paid to do what they need to do blindly. You know what I mean? Think about
Mm.
how many people do for their bosses, but don't really know what the end result is.
Oh, you know what? That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh my God.
Like you have a supervisor,
That's a fact.
but it's about 10 of y'all, and 10 of y'all trying to be the next supervisor. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. And
so
we just the workers.
just doing it because I'm trying to get paid. I got
Right.
kids.
I got shit. I gotta live.
I'm trying to get paid.
Damn.
There are a lot of people out there who just do not know, who don't know. And I that's why I wanted to gloss it over and say like maybe not everybody knew. There were
Right.
definitely people who knew.
Right. Right. I think there
You
was
know what I
more
mean?
that knew that didn't know. And if they didn't know, they were probably like really the bottom workers, like the ones that really maybe don't even much interact with him.
That's what you see when what is it? You could be watching a television show and they have like an audit or something like that, or the IRS comes in and
No.
takes everything and they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
doing nothing but shredding evidence,
Oh yeah.
trying to get rid of everything, and the whole
Oh,
office is
Kenyatta, you ever
going
seen Fun with
crazy.
Dick and Jane?
Precisely. Precisely, exactly that. It's everybody could be in on it, or some of them could be in on it, and not everybody know. You know what I
Right, because
mean?
that's
Like
exactly how they did Jim Carrey in that movie.
lost
Remember?
his job.
Lost his job. They used him as a pawn on the little TV show thing that he went on. And
Yep.
and the whole time he was being interviewed, they were putting stuff across the screen that he didn't even know about.
Yes.
And then his boss, the other guy, knew what was going on. And they still
Yes.
put it on Jim, made him the forefront. That shit, you are so, and he had no clue.
How
He had
often
no
does that
clue.
happen? How often do people clock in blindly and not know what their
The
boss is doing?
CEO.
Not
Right,
not know what their boss is doing with the money.
right.
You know
And
what I
remember the
mean? Like what
CEO was
personal
laundering all
activities
that
that this
money?
would say?
The CEO was laundering all that money. I forget the man that played the CEO. I forget his name. God,
I can't remember. It's been
I
so
can't
long since
remember his
I've
name
seen
either,
Fun with
but
Dick and Jane. I haven't seen Fun with Dick and Jane since we were in school.
oh my God, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. But that just reminded me of that. You are and I think that was based on a factual situation that happened with some major
With
corporation
Exxon,
company. What's
with
it
I
called?
think it was I think it was some gas company,
Like
right?
gas company or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just interesting that you said that because that's a fact. That's true.
It's often that there are a lot of people who are working towards a goal that is bigger than them and just trying to make their own goals,
So, do you
right?
think with the celebrities that were going to, my thing is, why would the celebrities and these politicians go into that island if they really didn't know what was going on?
I mean, celebrities often go to islands.
That's what Shaddy said. Shaddy
I
said
mean,
they might have been like, "Hey, it's a party in the Virgin Islands."
who gonna be there? who who all over there?
Epstein was like, I got the private jet finna pick you up and you up and you up. And they was
That's
like,
how he
we'll be
got what he
there.
wanted. That's how he got what he wanted. He was a financier, right? That's how he got what he wanted. Money gets you a lot of things in life, a lot of things, and to be able to like schmooze with whoever, all of that is money.
That's a
He
shame.
wasn't
Money is the
famous.
root of all evil,
I
child.
mean,
I
he was
swear.
famous because of his money. He was famous because of the elbows that he rubbed,
Right.
because of, I mean, the status that he held. The status that he held was got him into the places that he needed to get into and talk to the people that he knew people.
That's
So
interesting, dude. Like I just get so it just really makes me just be like, damn, like you said earlier, you can't trust nobody.
nobody. You don't know. You don't know. That's why you marry.
Right. It's so
So
dude,
like
like,
the person who's sleeping next to you at night, and then
oh,
now like nine times, well, nowadays it's like,
right,
can you trust that
nowadays.
person?
Right.
But
I was just about to say, remember when we hold on really quick. Christina said not all the women he hurt, oh, the thing keeps disappearing. Not all the women he hurt were underage. There were some over 18, and it masked the depraved things that were.
well,
Oh,
that's
they
why they
threw that
said
on in
some
there. Like, oh,
some
not
as
all
young
of
as
them was
14.
underage.
That's why they
Huh?
said some as young as 14, but he used to sexually abuse all of them.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that's the bigger problem is that
Right.
not only was it the children that he would abuse, but it was just the fact that he sexually abused women in general.
Oh my God.
Um,
Read that. What did she say? Can you see it?
she said it was her Rolodex that helped him, or her black book. Are we talking about uh Ghislaine?
Oh, Ghislaine. That's how you say her name. I thought it was Giselle. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine
Oh, she was the
Maxwell.
daughter of embezzling British press baron and rumored Mossad spy Robert Maxwell, who died when he fell or was pushed from his yacht. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. She might have been a part of some shit. But you know what? That also reminds me. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. We mentioned this lady a while ago last year on our show. That black lady that was running a child. It was either an in-home daycare, and she murdered her husband
Oh
because
yeah.
it came out that he was molesting some of the kids.
Yes.
She's just now getting her like a,
Her
like
sentence.
a, yeah, attention, and they interviewed her.
Oh, okay.
She's locked up, and people are trying to petition for her to get out of jail.
Yeah.
And I said that because you just said you could be laying next to somebody and they be a pedophile.
It 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 happens all the time.
That's so crazy,
I
dog. I don't
that's
know
that's
what I
just
would
crazy.
do.
I feel like I've had that in my own family. I've
Really?
oh yeah, I've had those instances within my own family, um and you see it on TV. I mean,
Right. You
even
do.
if it's in a film,
Right.
you know what I mean. You know that if it's possible, I mean, if it's real, it's possible, or if it's possible,
Right.
it's real. You know what I mean? Like, so uh, it's it's terrible
It is,
just
and then
because we talk about men who used to stray and the woman staying with them,
right.
right? We
Mm-hmm.
talk about them doing it as close as right across the street
Right. Right.
or
Right.
just your neighbor, right?
Right.
But sometimes it happens within the household.
Oh yeah, that's
Sometimes
where they. You know what? That's what they say is actually more. They say it happens more often with family members and people that are close to you than often strangers. Like
because
it
the
happens
access,
more often within people that you know.
because of the access, right?
Yeah, and that would make sense because the child is going to trust them.
Yes. I have a fear, and a lot of that a lot of that comes from situations that have happened in my family,
Right.
and I'm close with my great nephews
Oh
and my
yeah.
great niece, and I don't want it ever to be perceived that I would ever do anything to them like
Right.
that, right?
Right.
And I think at a young age, I can't remember who it was to me. It was like, "Oh, you don't stay in here with the young girls." You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't, which is understandable just because
Right.
the boys shouldn't be around the girls, right?
Right.
But that stuck with me because I used to think, how like, why would you think
That
that
I right,
I
just because
had
I'm
that
a
capability? But
right. Right. I'm a boy. I'm a boy.
I understand it because it happens so often, and
Well, do you
you
think
don't
it's the
know who.
nature?
You don't know
Yeah,
who.
and do you think people are like that because males typically have the nature to
See, don't
be
no.
curious?
Well, do you think people are like that because of that? But then we have all of those women, those female teachers who preyed on, you know what I mean,
Boys who
on
preyed on
boys,
boys.
right? So it's like we can't say that it's just a man. You know
But
what I
that's what
mean?
I think society tries to make you like kind of trick the mind like, oh, it's because boys, they're naturally sexual and they're naturally, that it's that
And to that
stereotyping
I
thing.
say, fuck society, because they are placing these
Right.
social constructs
Yes.
on people and saying that only these people do these things,
Things,
when
right, right.
time and time again history has showed us that that is clearly not true.
And you know what? It's good that you say that because that's what's making y'all miss the women that's over here molesting my
Ex-
sons.
exactly. You're expecting and you're constantly watching this person
Watching.
while they
Right.
stealing over here. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean?
That's just like you watching the nigga in the stove when Betty over here
That's how
pocketing
people.
lipstick and and
Yes,
foundation powder, but you steady watching the niggas because
watching.
society has told you that we steal. Meanwhile, you already done got a few items stole out the store.
Sometimes society ain't even told you that. You saw it on TV once. You know what I mean? Like the narrative.
Yeah.
It's the narrative that's there that is making you. I think everybody is like so focused and honed in, and that is what the criminal wants you
Criminalizing.
to think.
Yeah, yeah,
They want you to think it would never be me.
right.
You know what I mean? So they're able to go unnoticed.
What
That is,
happened to you? You disappeared. You black.
I can see you.
Oh no, maybe it's the live. Oh Lord. Keep going. We can hear you. We can hear you. That's fine.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
I look stupid,
I don't know why.
but
I don't know why it went black.
and it's always me. It's always me.
Hello?
I'm here, but I
You
don't know.
can't.
I don't know how to like. I can mute my mic.
Oh,
Yeah,
she said she can't
I can
see
mute my
you.
microphone, but I don't know how to like restart the.
It's okay.
Here, let me do this.
We only got a few more minutes anyways. This was our first run, you guys, so it'll get better along just like it did on Instagram. Oh, he left. He gone. But he'll come back. Well, anyways, um I'm just going to read some of Okay, here he comes. See if he'll come back. There you are. Hey, hey.
Get rid of me that easily.
don't be trying don't be trying to cut us off because we talking some real shit. Okay, go
You
ahead.
tried it. I done forgot now. That's what I hate.
um, you were saying, oh my god, you was talking about we were talking about how how society has put people in these different constructs.
Society has put people under these constructs, and then because we're looking at one particular demographic to hold the torch for all of
Right,
whatever it is,
right,
people who don't fall into that demographic go unnoticed,
right,
right?
right.
So I can steal all I want in CVS if I'm white. You ain't checking for me.
You ain't checking for me.
You know what I mean? That's that's what ends up happening, right?
Right.
So like nobody would
Facts.
ever think, oh, I don't know, Bill Murray. Nobody would
Right.
ever think the pudding pop guy. Like, you know
No
what
one
I mean?
ever thought Winona Ryder.
Jake from State Farm is out there doing the dirty,
Ah!
right? We don't know because Jake been trying to sell us insurance for a long time now.
Right.
So we don't think that he touching little kids.
Right. Right. Oh, and the nigga from the nigga that got caught. You know what? Now that I think about it, almost everybody
Christina
is
said,
caught.
not Jake.
Almost everybody is caught up with some damn kids. Remember the subway dude? What was his name? The white guy that used to be on
Oh, Jared.
the. Yes, he was.
Okay. You had to be real, like you had to be specific. Subway, that's what you went with? I got I didn't even know you was talking about sandwiches until for a good second. But yes, Jared, such a little kid.
You know, and now
When
I'm
did he
not
find the
laughing at
time?
that. I'm just laughing at the fact that it's like, yo, this you right, Ken. This shit been going on.
Yo, it's been going on way before Jared. Way before Jared. Way before Jared got to 300 pounds and said, I'm going to start walking the subway every day. Lost that weight and said, now, now I've kicked the habit of food. Let's move on.
To my
He wasn't
real pleasure.
he wasn't famous but about 5 seconds.
I mean, what? Like, I
Yo.
just, I just don't. I don't think and I really honestly what I honestly, she said bad joke. He wanted to show everyone his subway.
that's that's saying that it was that big.
It won't. It was the what's the 5 inch? The half a sub.
Yo, I didn't believe Jared. Where was all his extra skin? Like, what did he do?
It was the mini.
It was the many. It was sample size.
Sample size. Yo, I am just like, bro,
Yo,
I just cannot believe how how often this happens. And
it
you know,
happened.
pedophiles don't even get that it's like they don't even get as much time as like, you know what pisses me off? I know I'm going like all over the place.
Mm,
Those boys that were like exonerated, and some of these black boys that were falsely accused of
mm.
raping and stuff like that. When you got real pedophiles
Yeah.
out here that really should be locked up. That's
Yes.
the thing that troubles me, because it's like, why are there so many pedophiles still loose?
Because they're too busy on like they're too focused on black people. They're too focused on gay people. They're too
Right,
focused on drag queens.
right,
They're too focused on all these other things because again, you are looking at one thing expecting for them to fuck up
right, right,
when they constantly fucking up behind you.
right.
And so it's like, pay it with everyone screaming, pay attention
That's it,
because
see,
the
Tina.
issue, they're
Right.
focused on that to
On that to
distract you.
distract
Yes,
you.
because the
Yes.
issue is over there.
Which is a way bigger issue.
Way bigger issue. Nobody's tackling that because that issue would take away
Right.
what you feel is a right.
Right.
Right? So, like, gun laws
Right.
need to be a little bit more stricter because you
Right.
don't want to let go of your gun
Right. You don't want to
because
let
it
go of
gives you
your
power.
gun, so you risking people's children's lives because
Yes.
you want to hold on to your gun.
Oh, but you care about the children
Right.
when they're being taught, I don't know, racism was real. They're being
Right.
taught, um, like,
It's silly. It's silly and like see Tina said, it's basically look over here so you don't see what I'm doing.
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's been that for a long time.
And you know what? That would make sense why there's so many fucked up adults.
Yes, because they were also touched on.
I've heard so many stories about people that were molested and touched on and they don't talk about it. They don't sometimes it's so shameful, embarrassing, they don't even go seek therapy. Or some people just kind of write it off like, oh, it happened to me and I just kind of lived with it and got over it, but it still currently affects them just throughout their relationships when they are getting ready to be sexually intimate with their partner. I
Hmm.
mean, it's just it's something that is very triggering to me, and I always have wanted to get into the mind of a pedophile because I just don't understand what intrigues you about a child. I get the whole innocence thing, but it's like where does your mind go to where you take it as far to want to be sexually involved with a child?
Why is it further than that?
Right. Control.
Why?
See, Tina said.
It's control. It's it's the newness.
Mm.
It is touching what has never been touched.
That purity.
Purity, the innocence,
Right.
and being able to
Dominate over that. That's so
precisely
sad.
like how Christina was saying, like, it's money and power and what is going to make you feel bigger for a man who has everything. For a person who
Right.
has everything,
Mm,
what is going to make them feel even more powerful?
powerful. Right. It's like I already got that. I done bought two islands, nigga. I got this man, I got the biggest mansion in New York. You know what I'm saying? Or they
Yeah,
said he had one of the most biggest and most expensive in New York. He had the two islands. He had a place in
I already got
Paris,
two
France.
islands. Now, first of all, first of all, you done made it when you bought one island. Okay,
This nigga had
like you
two.
could rest, you could stop. Okay, this nigga said, "I'ma have two, two. I'ma have one for my hoes, and I'ma have like." You have to think about it. Niggas rap about this all the time.
You
I got
right
hoes in different
though.
area codes, all of that. They've been talking about this, and this dude is actually like trying to make that a reality, but in the most
Sinister way.
sinister and dastardly way. Ain't nobody said nothing to Hugh Hefner about his grotto.
Yo, that's crazy though.
Ain't nobody said nothing to him about it, right? Like he was able to
Right.
do it. People would like be invited. Bill Cosby would
Right.
drug people there. Like everybody,
Right.
like that was fine. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's now it's becoming a little bit more depraved because you're going for younger. What are you doing to lure these kids in?
Kids.
What are
Right.
you know what I mean? Like there's a sense of attraction, and what can he not do to lure
The man.
them in? He's got the
It's
money to do whatever.
whatever. That's some scary ass shit, dude. That just goes into the mindset of even with the government. these elites and all these people with money and power, it
Yeah.
does make you think like, now it makes you think like, well, that shit ain't, I wouldn't put shit past them now.
You have to think about all of the people who have chased immense power and what has happened to them. Um, you think about Biggie and him
Hmm.
saying "Mo money, mo problems,"
Problems, yep,
right?
yep, that's a fact.
And it doesn't. He doesn't detail. Well, he does go into detail about what problems means to him,
Right,
but the
right,
fact still stands that problems could mean anything,
right, right,
right?
right,
You have to think about just like all the instances where people have chased um immense power and have died
right.
doing so. You know what I mean? Not being content
You're
with where
right,
they are
Christina.
and what they
Right,
have. You know
right,
what I mean? Like,
right.
it's
That's a
nothing
fact.
wrong with striving and it's nothing
Right,
wrong with having a goal,
right.
but I mean,
When you get into it, I feel like when you start to get greedy with it, when you start to get
yo, it
greedy with it,
becomes
I feel like that's when the devil creep in, bro. Like you just, it's like all your for some reason your morale and values just go out the window.
he was committing every deadly sin that there was.
Right.
Every deadly sin that there possibly could be. You know what I
You was
mean?
an old ass dude, 66. Like what the fuck, nigga? What are you doing? It's sad, yo.
Fucking
Like
people over.
it's sad to me. I just feel bad for some of these like parents, man. These parents, I put the blame on some of them too. Y'all got to do better.
Yeah, like we we glossed over it not too long ago, but then it pops up in every little situation. You think about Aries Spears and this Tiffany
Oh
Haddish
yes,
situation, like
yes.
that came up, and then there are all of these instances where I don't know, pedophilia is right at the forefront, and it's sad that
It's starting to just be like
now
exposed.
that there's decades and decades
Right,
of
literally,
evidence stacked
literally.
against it, what are you really doing?
Right.
Saying that drag queens should not be reading to children.
Right, right. When you had a whole man, had a whole island that they call Pedophile Island, that y'all knew these activities was going on and didn't do a fucking thing about it, but y'all want to focus in on drag queens.
I haven't heard anything in decades and decades and decades of drag queens killing kids,
Right, or molesting kids, or
molesting kids.
taking them to private islands and raping them and
That's because they're thinking that already who they are is
right,
depraved,
right,
right? Already who they are and the profession that they take on, that's depraved. So they must be up to no good, right?
right,
When there are people out there who are masking themselves as good
right.
and doing nothing but dirt,
You know
right?
what? Orlando Brown mentioned that. He talked about that in Hollywood, and Christina also said in the chat. She
Mm,
said Hollywood may be built on it with all the problems that they have had for centuries. Shirley Temple, I saw an
Shirley
interview with
Temple.
Shirley Temple on David Letterman, and she was talking about an experience that she had when she was very young, and how, like, once again, the parents are taking the kids to be on TV and all this stuff, and they separated her from her mother.
That's not
And see,
surprising.
and that wouldn't have happened. I would have been like, no, that would have been that would have been the end. No, we ain't doing this audition. Where my child at? Ain't nobody getting separated.
No, they were looking at it as this is our cash cow. This is
Right.
our in. We're not talented.
We're gonna pimp our
She
child.
is. And we're gonna exploit that.
Right.
Um Shirley Temple. She was the most unique thing at that time.
Yeah, and she was super popular and she was breaking bread at that time.
Yes. So think
Yeah.
about all of the pedophiles at that time around her,
Right.
right? She is. I think John Benet Ramsey. Think about John Benet
Oh
Ramsey.
yes. Oh my God, that story was so sad.
It's so sad.
But in a way,
That's another young little girl who was taken advantage of. Then you also have Gary Coleman.
yeah,
You have all
yeah.
of these child stars,
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes,
Y'all, I don't know if
who
y'all have seen what's going on with her, but it's super
who
sad.
just got finished running naked in the like
In this,
in public.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like something has happened to
happening.
her.
Right, right.
But her show was made by and created by um a pretty big pedophile.
Yeah, I
He
heard
was a
that.
producer.
Yeah, I heard. I think it was that one producer that did. Is it iCarly?
Yes.
Yeah,
Rob
he.
Schneider. Schneider?
Yes, that's. Is
Schneider.
it Ron or Rob?
I want to say it's Rob Schneider,
Yeah, not the comedian guy.
not Schneider,
Yeah, not Schneider.
who's
Not
also a
Mel
fuck
Big,
up,
not Deuce Bigelow.
who's who's also depraved.
Really?
Yeah, he's no good.
Oh my God, dude. And that's
He's like
another thing, like with
he's
all
like
these
a big
celebrities.
like I feel I if I can remember correctly, he's like a big Republican, a big Trump supporter,
Oh
like
wow.
bad. Him and Charles in charge.
Wow. Christina said a lawyer is using her TikTok to expose the pedophiles arrested in US each week. And surprise, surprise, despite what some it keeps disappearing. Despite what some right-wing pundits and politicians would have you believe, none of them are drag queens. Oh, I already know that's a distraction tactic, that whole drag queen thing. I could already tell because I was like, who really gives a crap? Like who cares? Why are we
It's
talking
to
about this on the news?
it's to distract the people who do give a crap.
But it's like pointless. It's like
I know who those people who already don't like
bigots
drag
who are
queens,
bigots. Yeah,
who
who are
who
bigots.
already yeah exactly who already now you're giving them a license
A reason to
to
just be
be
more hateful.
yes exactly
That's so
exactly.
stupid.
It's stupid. It's a red herring. Is
Right.
what they call it. It's it's frustrating
It
because
is.
all of the people who aren't doing anything are
Right.
being accused constantly. Not to say that there aren't people out there who fall within that faction or that category or that representation who are also criminals,
And it's
right?
probably lesser than the big ring of pedophiles that we got going on, from celebrities to politicians. That's the part that tripped me out. I'm like, bro, you mean to tell me some of these people that are running our fucking country are pedophiles, man?
But they're needed though. But they're needed. Needed for what? Needed for what? To make our lives harder
Right.
with
And for
laws?
us to be looking over our shoulders, I don't know, dude. I do want to dive more into this conversation, like maybe another episode or something
Yeah.
like that, or something else. Because I feel like this pedophilia thing is going to end up being more exposed, even more so. I hope that they do eventually drop the clientele list and we can have a discussion about that. Also, that movie that Ethan Hawke was in. Oh my God, what was the name of the movie?
They did drop the client list.
They did?
Yeah. I saw it on TikTok.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah, certain people like Bill Murray. Um as far
I
as
heard Chris Tucker,
as far as President Biden
President
and
Biden, Trump, Clinton.
yeah, Biden and even as far as our vice president, our lady
You
vice
know what's
president.
funny? A lot of people have been saying that President Biden is a pedophile and he knows about the child trafficking rings. And at first I was like, no way. But now I'm like, maybe.
Let's focus on one target. The people
Right.
that we know are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why do we wait until I don't know. It's like we trying to catch them before they happen. You
Right.
know what I mean? And then the wrong person gets locked up because we're on this witch hunt trying to find out who is a pedophile and who's not.
Right.
But
Right.
it's sometimes it's point blank obvious, and
Right.
nobody's like making the right decisions to be able to
Or
fix
people
that. Like
or
it's
people
people
just be in
behind,
denial. They be in denial. They don't want to believe it.
or they're sweeping it under the rug because it'll affect their way of life. If
That's what it is, Ken.
you know what I
That's
mean,
what it
it'll
is.
affect their
That's
way
what
of
it is.
life, or like they're already doing good, they're making good money, like all those things. I ain't trying to change up things now. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
it ain't fucking with me. You
That's
know
a
what I mean?
hard
Like,
Yep, yep. That's a hard realization, and it's sad because that's where the whole people not having their morale, like, you know what I mean? Like, we got to really pay attention to these people that are running our world, because you don't. Who wants people running the world that don't give a damn about your kids? And your kids is going to be the next people to run the world.
but also be careful of the person who says, I care about your kids.
On that note, facts. That is a fact.
Because what are you really doing? What are you really doing? To
Right.
like, if you care about my kids, like, what are you
Why is it
doing?
not showing? Why is
Yeah,
it not
like, what are
showing?
your actions? What are you?
It's not at the math ain't mathing.
No.
Cause why do we still have politicians that are pedophiles, and y'all still trying to catch up with pedophiles that y'all are just now finding out are pedophiles, but really y'all knew was pedophiles. Like, come on, man. It just
But you trying to change the story of Rosa Parks.
yeah,
You trying to
like
say,
what are we doing?
like, what are we doing? Are you? I literally saw like the adjustment between two articles in like a school book or whatever it was. It was like a worksheet, and how they changed the bio of Rosa Parks. The only thing that was changed was that this happened to her because of the color of her skin, right?
Wow.
They took
Uh-huh.
that fact out, and everything else just seemed like she was just told to move, and she
Oh,
chose
like it
not
wasn't like
to.
it wasn't a big it was we just told her to move, and then this big
Let's take
uproar. They
racism
got
out of it.
angry.
When the obvious reason is because of racism. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like she was prejudiced. I mean, no, not she was prejudiced, but they prejudged her
Right.
based off of the color of her skin.
Right.
And so, like, you're gonna start the erasure
Right.
of known facts,
Right. Right.
right? But because those people are not around to
To back that up.
defend
Right.
that
Mm-hmm.
fact,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna
Y'all gonna
change
change it.
from then on how history is being told.
Cause y'all don't want to look like the bad people. That's just crazy, dog.
Ron
That's just
DeSantis.
it's just crazy out here. And honestly, I mean, I just anybody that does have kids, I can't stress this enough. My kids don't go nowhere. My kids be with me and me all the time. I have like really no life for real. And if they even when they're with my mom, like they're with my mom, they're either with my mom, they're with me. I have like maybe one other person that I solely trust them with. And even before I handed them over to that person, I told my kids all the time, if anyone ever touches you inappropriately, tell me.
Hmm.
Tell me. I don't care how scared. Tell me, because mama is going to handle it. Don't
Hmm.
ever be scared to not tell me if somebody does something to you, touch you, because they're not supposed to be touching you. It is your body, and nobody is supposed to be touching you in inappropriate places, period.
And keep reiterating that fact because then society will go ahead and tell them that it's wrong for them to feel that way, and because they're men, they're boys.
Boys,
You
right.
know what I mean? And that doesn't happen to boys,
Right, right,
right?
right,
You know what
right,
I mean? Or man up. You know what I
right.
mean?
Oh,
Like,
you'll be all right. You'll be all right. No,
yes, you have to get to your kids before
that happens.
society gets to your
Oh,
kids. You know?
Christina dropping statistics. She said 1 in 5 boys. Wow,
See?
really?
That's crazy.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy. We
And I'm
think
gonna tell you, I'm
we
gonna
have a
tell you
lot of
that.
known figures who have come out and said that they were molested, like Tyler Perry,
Oh yeah, and the comedian
D. Ray Davis.
D. Ray Davis, and she's 1 in 3 girls, well, more for girls, and then but still, that's not too
But
much
that
of a
makes sense.
difference. That's not
Yeah,
too much of a difference.
that makes sense.
God dang! All I can say is, I was gonna say this really quick too before we end up closing the live. I
Mm.
watched a documentary on the Boy Scouts,
Oh.
and oh my God, I almost cried.
There's one out there for on Hulu for Lost Girl Scouts.
Oh my God, dude. It's like it's just it's literally an epidemic
Yeah,
of pedophilia. So
yeah.
all I can say is if you do have children, just don't be careless. Don't think that it'll never happen to your kid. Cause I think that's what a lot of parents do. It's always that it won't happen to my child, not my child. My child will tell me not. And you can't ever think like that. She
And
said
pay
nearly
attention to your
70%.
children. Nearly
Right.
seven. Pay attention to nearly 70% of child sex offenders have between 1 and 9 victims.
Oh
At
my
least
God.
20% have 10 to 40 victims. An average serial child molester may have as many as 400 victims in his lifetime.
That's
That's a,
horrific.
that's an average.
Oh
That's
my
an
God, dude.
average. Pay attention to your children.
Yes.
Like,
Behavior.
they didn't get all quiet all of a sudden for
Right.
no reason.
Right. Anger.
You know what I mean? Like, all of those things will begin to act out. They will begin the
Show
moment that
signs.
you start to check out and not get into their mind and their
Right.
psyche and what's going
Right.
on with them and what their
Right.
daily life is like is the moment that you will lose them.
Right.
Even if
That's
they
a
don't
fact.
get touched.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You got to
So,
really be in tune with your kids these days. Um, yeah, you guys, that was great. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and end the live for tonight. We will be back on YouTube Live, not next Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll be back on Instagram for our regular scheduled program because we always gonna go back to Instagram and show love because that's our home base. And then the following Thursday, we'll come on YouTube. So it'll be like rotation, the one on Instagram and then the second Thursday on YouTube, just so we can split our audience up and move around and start to build up our audience on YouTube. I appreciate you guys coming in on the live for this go round with us. Me and Ken, we just appreciate all the love that you guys have been showing
so
us.
much.
Thank you for getting our followers up on Instagram. We have 408 followers on Instagram. And we got, I
And
know, right?
growing. And growing.
And we got 80 subs on YouTube. People are actually starting to comment now
That's
on
what's up.
YouTube. Night, Christina. Thank you,
Thank you
baby.
so much, Christina.
Thank you.
Love
You
you
know you a
too.
part of the squad. I'm gonna get you a shirt. Whenever I get my shirts made, I'm gonna get you a shirt. And Ken, I'm gonna send you one too, and we'll eventually start wearing them on the
Oh, for
show and
sure.
stuff like that for promo. But thank you guys so much for the love, for everything that you guys have been doing, supporting us. I mean, I can't believe how much we've grown within a year. It's amazing.
It's
We're going to
amazing.
continue to grow. Of course, if you guys ever have topics that y'all want to see us discuss or that you guys want to participate in, message me. You can message Ken on Instagram, on our DMs or whatever, and we'll run it through on the show. But once again, it's the mic is hot. We was live tonight, our first 50th episode, our first episode on YouTube. We're gonna come back for more. Next episode it'll probably be a little bit longer. Ken, I hope you feel better tonight, babe.
Thank
Get
you
some
so
rest,
much. I'm about to
relax,
take this pill.
and call it a
These
night. Perk popping
Yeah.
on this.
Thank you so much, Christina.
We love you guys. Mwah. And y'all know how we do every night, Thursday night, 9 o'clock p.m. The mic is hot. We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.